Yeah, Tim, look, I'm not going to switch to an iPhone. It's not going to happen. I don't care. I know I've got 5,000 subscribers now, but you can't sway me. I don't care how much money you give me. Talk to you later, Mr. Cook. Hi there, it's Timmy Joe. That was not a real phone call. That was actually my ex-wife. LG G6 reviewed. Now, this is not going to be some spec fest. This is going to be a hands-on, what's my opinion of putting this in your pocket for 2 years and probably spending $200, something like that, right now on a 2-year commitment to put this into your hands. Is it worth it? Should you wait for the Galaxy S8? We'll answer all these questions and more after this intro. Okay, so I was very excited about this phone, and I'm very excited to tell you all about it. I've had it for the better part of a couple days now, and I've been using it as my daily driver. I use my phone a lot, so I have a definitive conclusion for you here. And you know what? Maybe 6 months down the line, they'll update the software on this or something, and it might sway my opinion. But I think I've got my opinion all lined up here, and I'll get to that in a second. But initial impressions. You pull this out of the box, I gotta say, build quality, LG knocked it out of the park. I think this thing is going to feel better in the hands than even the S8 will, okay? And that's a bold statement, but the metal construction, the thin, one-handed usability of this phone, it's second to none. The screen is beautiful. The glass is all just as shiny as possible. This piano black finish is a fingerprint magnet, but it just makes it look so nice. It feels substantial. There's not a creak or there's nothing to make this phone feel cheap by any stretch of the imagination. So that's hats off to them with their S5 being such a dud, with issues with fit and finish on it, the modularity being never touched after launch, and people were saying that the paint was wearing off on some of the units and stuff like that. That you don't have to worry about this. If you want a good quality phone, it feels almost like a iPhone 5, and that's saying something because that's a very nice feeling phone, especially because it's a very small phone at this point. That's a 4-inch phone. Well, here is a side-by-side of them. They remind me a lot of each other because this is a easy to fit in one hand and get a lot done with, for having a 5.7-inch screen on it. It's beautiful. The display is inky blacks, very, very well done for it being an IPS display. I'm a big fan of AMOLED, and this is, I would say, 99% as good as an AMOLED. You won't be disappointed. It's waterproof now. It has a micro SD card slot. It has some fancy microphones for taking video, HD audio, so that's pretty cool. 3,300 milliamp hour battery I found was not enough. Maybe some software will change that, but using it all day, it is at 15%, and battery saver comes on well before I'm heading to bed, which is kind of a downer. That's the way my S6 was. It has a 3,300 milliamp hour battery, but it maybe could have used a 35. I'm not sure. But there are Android Nougat updates that are making the battery better, so maybe we'll see that get improved. I dunked it. I put it in the bath with my kid. No issues there, so the waterproofing is for sure there. It's got fast charging, USB-C, so it's all of the top tech, and this bezel-less display being the only kind of its market on the market right now. Now the S8's going to knock them off their podium, I'm sure, once it's launched, especially considering they have a bigger sized version. People tend to love big phones. This could have used a bigger brother, I think, and we will see that in the LG V30 probably. It'll probably be exactly the right size for me. I find this is a little small, and typing on it, I have a hard time getting used to the keyboard being a lot thinner because of the 2:1 aspect ratio on this. There's some getting used to typing on it, and a case would probably help that out. Fingerprint scanner, lightning quick. Like here. It doubles as the off button. It is a clicky button, but I put my finger on it now, and it's awoke. It's that quick. It's faster than my wife's Nexus 6P, And I gotta say, it's a really wonderful option just to be able to pick it up, you know, bam, it's on, and you're doing what you got to do. I never used the fingerprint scanner because it was in the thumb here on my my Samsung, because I'd rather just be able to get into the phone quickly and swipe. It's a natural hand position when I pick the phone up to go like that, and away I go. So I'd probably keep that on. Now let's get to the camera. The camera on this phone was supposed to be its high point for me. As you guys know, I do a lot of camera reviews. I'm always looking for the best budget 4K option, or, you know, best smartphone camera. And I had that in the S6 Edge. You're watching me on it right now, actually. It is a very good camera, and I hear the S7 is just like this much better. So, you know, Samsung has it in the bag when it comes to cameras. And this year, they're not fooling with no double camera setup. Like, LG had to put a little gimmick on their camera, I think, in order to compete. And it's got its high points and its low points, and I'll give you my absolute conclusion at the end of this video. So it starts off at a high point. When you put on the wide angle, it's like, wow, I can fit a lot into this screen. Now the wide angle and the standard angle share the megapixels. They share a lot of things, but the wide doesn't have optical image stabilization, and it has a smaller aperture, which means it lets less light in. So it's not going to be as good at low light video and pictures, and that means you're using the, you know, you'll want to use the standard lens on the camera for your night shots and for video. But what happens there is that 70 degrees is too far away. When I switch to that camera, it's a lot more zoomed into to something than my S6 was. So in order for me to use the better camera on this, I'm at a disadvantage because it actually zooms in a little bit in order to use some software image stabilization. I guess there is OIS built into this as well, but it does zoom in a bit to get some software, which works very well. But if I want to get a shot or a video, I'm more likely to use the wide angle with less good specs on it and end up being disappointed once I put the pictures on the computer or on Facebook or something like that, and I see them on another source other than the phone. So hats off to them for trying, but what I would have done was probably had the standard focal length be exactly like the Samsung version and have the same focal length and the same, you know, degree of view, and have an even wider angle that maybe goes to even 150 degrees or something like that, more GoPro-esque. Because I honestly, I can't figure out which lens I want to use when I'm taking video and pictures. I want to use the wide angle because it looks really cool, but I want to use the shorter frame distance, the 70-degree lens, because it's going to turn out to be a better picture. The forward facing on this was kind of left alone too. I would actually have preferred to see the 13 megapixel wide facing me. That way I could use it as a studio camera and be able to talk to myself like a vlogger. And I think I'd get a lot more use out of it that way. And if I did want to do a quick wide angle shot or video, flip her around and, you know, you just won't have a viewfinder for a second. But wide fields of view don't usually need a viewfinder because you're getting so much in shot. You can probably crop out a little bit here and there to frame the picture in post. So I'm disappointed in the camera, which is really sad. And the quality of the images is not there. The quality of the video is not there compared to my Samsung S6. So why am I going to stick with this if the camera is the biggest thing? I don't know. I'm going to give it a few more days and think about it. I have some time. I can return this phone, but I may actually end up just getting a Galaxy S7 Edge because it's the phone I'm used to. It's the phone I love, and I don't want this bezel-less thing. I think it's sort of a gimmick, and it'll be, you know, it'll be just the normal next year, sure. But I'm not going to wait around for the S8 because it's just a marginal update over the S7. And I don't know. But you're here for my opinion, and although I might not keep this because the camera is very important, I don't want to dissuade you from getting this phone. It's cheaper than an S8. It will be at launch for sure. No doubt within 6 months it'll go down to like a $0 contract price, and it is the best offering LG's ever brought to the table. And if the camera was one lens, I think I would keep it. I actually liked the G4 pictures just fine with one lens. They were very, very close to the Samsung S6 Edge Plus. So why they had to go and put this in here, it's just to kind of raise some hype, and maybe, I don't know. I know a lot of camera reviewers and smartphone reviewers online have been praising the camera in this, but for my personal use, I'm just not a fan. But if camera isn't all that's important to you, all around, this is an amazing phone, and you should go pick it up, 100%. So, I hope I didn't confuse you too much. I don't want to talk for too much longer on the LG G6. I'll let you know what I come up with, but the camera disappointed me because Samsung has raised the bar so high that a gimmick like 2 lenses that do not a full job on either one isn't going to save the camera on this. But as far as it being a really good smartphone, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. I'm Timmy Joe. I hope you enjoyed this video. There'll be a ton more of actual computer hardware stuff on this channel. I just wanted to take a break and give, I'm a huge smartphone nerd, so I got to give props there, but I got a laundry list of things we're going to be doing with Ryzen, and I got an RX 480, as you probably know already, so there's going to be tons of testing with that. That's all I get to say today. LG, put your camera back to one lens, and I think I would have kept this phone. But anyone else out there would probably be very, 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 very happy with this phone. LG G6, almost good enough.